Trump gets shot and crypto shoots up to 60K. What's that all about?
Bro, if that bullet was like within 10 meters of Biden, he'd have been blown over, bro.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto Flip.
Welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I am your host, and I am joined once again with my co-host, Ricardo and Deji. But before we get into this week's news, you know how we have to start off. We have to see what the DJs have been up to and see what the crypto confessions have been like this week. So let's get straight into it. The burden of Bitcoin. I bought heavy years ago and no one listened. I've added over time and had enough on cold storage where I couldn't outright buy the amount I have, but now I'm isolated.
Ooh,
Nervous
flexing.
about hacks.
Somebody's flexing.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself. Nervous about hacks, who I'm going to give my wealth to when I die, and I can't talk to anyone because in real life, no one has the extensive knowledge and everyone online is trying to scam you. Dream of getting wealthy just end up being more of a burden. I thought front-running the greatest trade this decade was going to be fun. What do you man make of that?
Rick, you want to jump on this one?
What? You want someone to talk to? Call me. I'm having with Bitcoin, and I actually don't know what cold storage is, but if you want to talk to someone that, you know, has that vision in their head, hit me up, bro. But congratulations. I don't know what to say other than like, well done. I feel like you're being a little bit of a bitch though, because what you're making it sound like is that no one else in the world understands you because you're a Bitcoin mogul and the trades that you've made have revolutionized the whole world. Bro, stop being a bitch. Go talk to some real people. If you think you've done that well, go chat to some hedge fund managers. Go chat to some people that work in hedge funds. Listen, there's trading communities out there that are not just trying to scam you. They're just trying to do their own thing. So yeah, go do your research and stop being a little bitch. But yeah, I mean, if my man's already planning, you know, how am I going to offload this massive estate, then yeah, probably spend some of your money as well, bro. Like, go buy something nice, innit? Go buy a dog, bro.
You know what it is, bro? I think, Rick, you hit the nail on the head because personally, I mean, like, personally for me, I can't really relate to the amount of stuff he's holding, innit? But just assume I was on that level too. I wouldn't be this paranoid because at the end of the day, yeah, life is what you make it. And you have all this wealth, well, all you're worried about is being hacked or losing this wealth or who you're going to give it on to. Those are fucking banging problems. Those are fucking great problems to have. You know what I mean? You saw Warren Buffett like, you know what? I got so many billions. I just got some extra dividend of billions from my Apple portfolio. I don't know what I want to do with it. That's not how you act. So it's a bit disappointing that he's let... Because, you know, you guys know this, right? There is... I think if you're in the crypto space, you have to be kind of like, you know, like what Tate said, is player versus player, essentially. Even if you're up there, because even if you have billions of Bitcoin, you know what I mean, you could lose it by just being too trusting, and then you know what I mean, you connect your ledger, and then you go drain, you know what I mean? So, like, I understand it's fear. We can never, ever let that fear, just freeze you from living your life. Like, it's a bit disappointing that, you know what I mean, like, you have all this wealth and you're not able to enjoy it. So what's the point of having wealth if you can't enjoy it? So, man, my advice for this guy is just don't worry about hacks. Don't worry about it. It's one thing to worry about hacks. It's one thing to just go about your business whilst being hush-hush. You don't have to announce to the world that you got BTC holding on the level of the Winklevoss twins. You don't have to announce that to the world because you only put a target to you on your back. The best thing to do is just move how you want to move, whether it's to create business. And I think one of the issues about being in this space as well is that I feel like when you have this amount of money, people tend to feel like I don't need to work anymore, and then you no longer have that reason to get up in the morning because you don't need to worry about waking up in the morning and paying bills and not fucking getting to work. So if you have that amount of money, do something, give back to the community, build something, build a business, build something that your children will be proud to have. Don't just give them Bitcoins because you know what they're going to do with that. They're just going to gamble their way and piss it all out and build a true generational wealth. That's what I would do rather than just folding my hands and being paranoid and then watching my back and then, you know what I mean? Soft. This guy is soft, man. So enough of the bitching. Start living your life.
Have you ever seen that album cover where DJ Khaled had his hand in his head and it was called "Suffering from Success"? Is that what this guy sounds like he's doing?
Literally, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, bro.
If you never understood that statement, "suffering from success," this is a perfect example of it. The guy is doing so well that he doesn't know how to handle his own success.
That's crazy.
But what I will say though is that he has some legitimate concerns. Number one, obviously, hacks are a real thing, and I think his concerns come from, I don't want to ever go back to what it was before. I don't want to ever go back to being broke because I don't want to go back to living that life. So I want to maintain or like at least hold on to everything that I have right now and not go backwards. So I think that's where most of his fear comes from, because he's basically talking about hacks, which have to do with that. Him feeling isolated and not being able to talk to anyone. Like you said, Rick, there are communities out there. I think maybe he's a person that's in like some, I don't know, some like isolated town or something like a Milwaukee or one of them ones where there's no crypto community. Like he has to put himself in a position where it's the norm. Like maybe he has to relocate to a Dubai or somewhere where, he doesn't necessarily even have to do that. You can obviously do things online, but I think when you have those connections in person, they're a lot stronger, and you can obviously trust people a bit more, even though you can't really trust anyone in crypto. But there's just a bit more of a stronger bond because, if somebody's anonymous, you don't really know what their intentions are. At least there's a little bit of accountability if somebody is there in person. So I think that he needs to try and, maybe relocate if that's something that he needs in terms of network. And
100%.
As for the rest, there are solutions, I believe, in terms of like when you die and stuff like that. But like you said, Deji, you're obviously concerned about your kids and what you're going to give to your kids. Giving your kids knowledge is going to benefit them way more than you give them Bitcoin.
Thank you.
Because the Bitcoin won't last. I guarantee you. There's start spending money.
Gambling away.
By the time they hit their 30th birthday, they're broke. Probably living under a bridge somewhere, shooting up heroin. So
whoa,
it's possible. It's possible.
Of course, very, very possible. What are you talking about? It can easily happen.
Exactly. So I think that he just needs to focus on like what knowledge he's going to be able to transfer to his kids, and then everything else will kind of fall into place.
Listen, Harris, Rick, I know you guys can truly attest to this. If you guys were in this, maybe it's because we want. Maybe it's because we've been through hardship in our own lives, so like we know how to kind of handle when we get in this situation. Like you have so much money that we know what to do with it. Like us man already have plans what we're gonna do with our Bitcoin. We're gonna get some bunch of supercars, gonna buy a bunch of fucking banging real estate, and just live our lives. That's what we're gonna do once we get on the top. But this guy, I just don't understand why he's letting this, because he's got a massive amount of bags of Bitcoin, letting him hold him back. I don't get it, because it's an easy solution. All you have to do is transfer some of that digital asset into a tangible asset. Transfer it to real estate. You know what I mean? Move to a country that, you're not the only richest person there. Go to Abu Dhabi. Go to some of the, move to Singapore, fam. You're not the only richest person there, fam. You know what I mean? And listen, and last thing before I let you guys go.
You might even be the brokest person there,
bro, I was just about to say that here. Listen, I know you got a lot of Bitcoin. I know you got several Bitcoins. I get it. But unless you're Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't want to hear no complaints from you, bro. Because if you sell, no one will even know you sold, fam. But if Nakamoto sold, people would know Nakamoto is selling. But at the end of the day, yeah, listen, this is a simple problem, and there's an easy solution for this. So don't whine on X. Just get on with your life and actually do something you can actually pass on to your children. Don't just give them money, because that will only spoil them even further.
Stop
That's
being
my
a
opinion.
bitch.
Yeah, what Rick said.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say on this is that I think it's all about perspective, and I think I came to that thing whilst you were talking, Deji. Being like a big fish in a small pond can make you feel like you're the only person go through those problems.
Thank you.
Being a small fish in a big pond will really put things in perspective. Because let's say you got $5-10 million, you think, "Wow, I'm so rich." You go to Dubai, you're a broke boy.
You're broke. You know what I mean?
There's billionaires there, and I highly doubt you got billions in Bitcoin. But even if you do have billions, So go on.
100%. They're like that. What? You can't afford a yacht. How do you even sleep at night,
Broke
brother?
boy, broke boy.
Come on, man.
Brother,
Exactly.
is that old kettle?
I was saying, so it's
Bro.
all about perspective, my guy. Trust me. Just change your surroundings and you'll change your mind.
Honestly, man, I know there was a lot of I was being facetious a little bit, but man, if you're out there listening, listen to what Harris is saying. Just change your perspective, move town. Like when you get to a certain level of wealth, you can't be living in a small bubble. Like expand your horizon. Just what I mean, travel a little bit. You know what I mean? See the world. Really get to see that. Listen, your problem is you're in a better position compared to the rest of the world. So why sit there and moan and complain on, oh, I'm gonna get hacked if I tell anybody, bro? No one cares about your Bitcoin, bro. Live your life. Live your life.
Let's go on to the next one. I
Fucking
told
bro.
some of my close relatives to put big money on Solana back when it was at $7 to $10.
Whoa.
All of them ignored me.
Damn.
Wow, that's early. It's early alpha. All of them ignored me except one, investing a good 5 figures into it around the $8 mark.
Nice.
He sold.
Ooh.
Yeah, he sold. he's enjoying. He sold everything for a life-changing profit here at these prices at $170 to $175. Essentially, almost 10xing his 5-figure investment. He gave me a percentage of the profits and cried on the phone explaining how I changed his life. Crypto is amazing.
So
This is a nice feel-good story.
Listen, this sounded like this guy invested 17 racks on Solana when it was $7 to $10, and he cashed out one of the 78 bags at the end of it. Honestly, man, this is probably one of the best confessions I've had. One of the more it's not funny, it's more of a positive one, showing what crypto can do. You know what I mean? Overnight, I won't say overnight, but how you can just change your life, and if you just make the right move. So honestly, man, kudos to man for listening to that alpha and actually making the moves. I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to bang the table, but honestly, I'm super happy for him. And we need more and more stories like this. So please, guys, if you have a story like this, please post it up and then we'll feature it in a pod. But really, really amazing, because a lot of time I tell my friends, listen, I beg you, bro, just buy, just put a little change, just a little 1K, a little 2K. But people never listen. And then when the thing moves, they're like, oh, is it too late to buy? And
that's always the case, man.
Listen. When I told you to buy 8 months ago, now you're telling me is it too late to buy? I get a little twinge on the side of my head. I get a little vein popping up. It's crazy. So it's good to see that there's someone out there actually listens to advice sometimes, and actually when they say they're gonna do something, they actually do it. So again, man, listen, round of applause, my man. Really, I'm so happy for him, and I hope he doesn't gamble away all the money. I mean, he actually uses the money for something good, and keeps growing his portfolio. So honestly, kudos to him, man. Kudos.
Now, what I'm really interested in is how my man convinced his friends and family to buy Solana at $7, bro. Because at $7 Solana, no one gave a fuck about crypto, fam. So I don't know. This guy needs to start a business. He needs to raise capital for people. I don't know. He must have the gift of the gab. He must have some bars, because, bro, I can't convince people to buy Solana when Solana's just did a 10% up yesterday, much less when Solana's been doing nothing for months. So, boy, kudos to him, and my man that did the life-changing profits. I'm not gonna lie, you sold a little bit early, but it's fine.
Hey, don't
should
say
have
that.
probably held for a little bit longer.
Don't say that, Rick. Don't say that. Don't say that, Rick. Don't say that.
It's all relative,
Scale
isn't
out,
it?
bro.
No,
If you did a 10x, you could have taken, let's say it was 70K to 700K, bro. You could have took out 300 and left 450.
bro,
there and
this
let that run.
is what Rick. This was done his first trade in crypto. His first trade was a banking trade.
You know what the problem
Bro.
is then? If this is his first trade and this is his only market, yeah, I'm
He's
glad he
fucked.
sold. Never get back in.
You
Never get back
know
in.
what? Yeah,
Because
that's probably good advice. Because you think it's always going to be like that.
You'll be chasing that profit again. But to be honest,
Of course.
but like I said, personally, I've given up in trying to convince my friends and family to invest in anything, only because if my alpha is wrong and they did plunge their let's say half of their savings or their savings in it, they're gonna be coming to me like, yo, bro, what going with your coin that you see I should buy, fam? Like, even if it's Ethereum or if it's Solana, like, you just one time I just keep my friends. I tell my friends what the alpha is, and then they know what to do. They go do their research, and then from then on, they can then allocate whatever they thought they can allocate to the investment. But personally, Rick is right though, because that guy. Because I remember I saw Solana at $1, bro. I remember one Dunner was trying to sell me Solana at $1. Like, he's like, yo, I'll give you, send me ETH. I'll send you 1,000 Solana. I'm like, you know what? It's good, bro. Like, I'm okay. So I do know that when Solana started making the move from $1 to 5 to 10, people just probably thought, this is the next Solana and this is the next Ethereum. So people did long at that range. I know a couple of Dunnies that longed around the $2 range. They even got in a pre-sale of Solana, fam. So like, it's not a far fetch to hit 10x in this market. You guys know this. You can hit 10x in almost, like, if you know what you're doing, 10x is not a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? It's the 50x, the under x that a bit harder to capture. So, like I said,
that requires a bit more skill.
Yeah, exactly. Kudos to my man for following the advice, because it's one thing to give advice, another one to actually do it. So that's what I'm complimenting. Not the fact that you made 10x. 10x is nothing hard in the crypto space. But the fact that my man gave you an alpha and you're like, you know what? I did my research. I think this could be it. I trust my Dunny. And then they executed it. So that's the feel-good story. So I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely great. I think that this could easily have been a different type of confession. Had things obviously, had it been a different coin, had it been... Had he sold early?
Let's say it was safe or something.
It could have been anything, exactly. But also, credit to the guy for holding and not selling, because I remember when Solana went down to those levels and like nobody was interested. Nobody believed in it. People thought Solana was dead.
Yeah. Facts.
So, and it was hard. Like, even though I believed in it, it was like, am I especially when you're the only one or one of the few people that are believing in something, it's like, it's hard to keep the conviction when nobody else is believing. So for somebody who has little to no knowledge about it to actually not sell too early, maybe when it doubled, he could have sold, but he didn't. And he just held. I presume maybe he didn't need the money that badly, which is why he didn't sell too early. I mean, he still sold early, but I mean, relatively speaking. So based on that, yeah, I really have to give kudos to the guy who actually made the investment, because that is it's not easy to hold on to something when you don't fully understand everything. You've just been given a call by somebody that you obviously trust, and then he's gone on and done a great job. So definitely well done to the guy.
Honestly, today's been a great series of confessions, and as much as I love the funny ones, it's good to have ones like this. So yeah, really, really, really good.
So welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. We are back again, and what we need from you guys is we need you to caress that like button. We need you to slap a comment in if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we need you to drop a comment. We had one last week that was actually very interesting. They were asking about the title of our podcast, which was, is crypto going to drop down to 12K? And they were like, no. And that's like, yeah, we don't think so either. It was just the name of the podcast. And I was like, oh, it's all good. Love your podcast. And we love you guys too. So keep the comments coming. And we'll keep delivering the podcast every week. So your boy Trump gets shot and crypto shoots up to 60K. What's that all about?
You can start with that.
How do you not, man?
No,
you know what I'm saying? No. All I'm seeing is remixes of Many Men with 50 Cent, all of this stuff. Crypto's pumping. Like, what's going on?
Listen, man. The crypto is truly the wild, wild west, because, bro, now imagine, Andy Tate is now going on X saying we need to do our best to protect Trump. Look at where Trump came from. Trump came from being a spoiled presidential candidate that inherited millions of billions from his father, turned into a real super wealth, and now ran for presidency. People were laughing at him. He was a laughing stock. Now he's not going to be this huge figure. Like, people are actually rooting for. Like, even the more controversial influencer are actually rooting for Trump because of what happened. Like it's crazy, honestly. But we're not surprised that the crypto market is pumping. I'm more surprised that it's not dragging along the meme coin market because the meme coin market is still a bit of like in a still phase right now. Like it's literally still like I see a downtrend. I see more downtrend in the meme coin market. And to be honest, I don't know how far this Trump being the catalyst would go, but I would love it for it to pump, man. I would love for us to experience that next pump. That would be amazing. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. I think Trump claims he's still gonna talk at the Bitcoin conference that's happening this month. I think is
Yep,
I don't know.
he's still
Yeah,
scheduled to speak.
yeah, it's still scheduled to speak. So expect some sort of like pump leading towards that. How far we're gonna pump, I really don't know. You can never really speculate or be too definitive in this market. All you can do is do your best, kind of speculate and plan your moves around that. So, like I'm not surprised at all that Bitcoin is pumping on this news because it actually Bitcoin dumped down to 58, then it pumped once they realized that Trump was fine. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens next. But like, crypto is truly the wild, wild west. Honestly.
Boy, from me, all I'm saying is many men wanted to take Trump off this planet, fam. My man did a little switch, dodged the bullet, slapped his air. Bro, it's crazy. Yeah, in terms of what it's doing for crypto. Yeah, bro. So I had a look at the meme coin market after this whole thing happened, and memes are doing, bro. If you bought any crypto, any meme coin last week, outside of the shit that you see on Deck Screener, like any of the top, I'd say 50 meme coins. We're talking market caps from billions like Doge down to things that were like 500,000 plus. Bro, you'd have been up. Like you'd have been up for sure.
500,000 or 500,000,000 you talking about?
Half a billion, sorry. Yeah, not half a million,
Alright,
sorry.
cool.
Yeah, you'd have been up. And I see things like, like Flocky and shit doing like 30% over the last week. Does it have something to do with Trump? I don't know. I saw like a bunch of new meme coins. Obviously, Trump with air, the air stays on, air off, like bare Trump meme coins, and
Are they doing
obviously
well?
those did a
Are they
pump and then they came down. Whatever. Those
exactly?
those probably won't
Yeah,
survive.
just riding the wave.
Yeah, riding the
They're just
wave.
riding the wave. But yeah, I think Trump getting. First of all, I also saw some interesting statistics that when Ronald Reagan got shot, um, was it Ronald Reagan? Yeah, whenever the president or
I think
JFK.
there was an assassination
It was
attempt on Ronald Reagan,
JFK.
but JFK got killed.
Yeah, okay, so the assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan was the reason why he went into presidency. Like after that, everybody voted for him because they're like, rah, they want my man dead. I'm gonna vote for him.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I think maybe a similar thing might happen with Donald Trump.
not similar things gonna
It's the
happen.
same.
Not only similar, I think it's gonna happen because literally days after the news, literally he's now the leading candidate to become the next U.S. president. Like literally in terms
Crazy.
of odds. So
I
I
mean,
think you will see him be elected. And to be
yeah,
honest, his opponent is a bit wet behind the ears, man.
that's
He's too old for the office. So it's honestly, it's
that's my
like
point.
even without this incident, it would have been a close race. But I think Trump will have edged down the end. But now
Yeah.
Trump is gonna lap him easily.
I think Trump is
Landslide,
gonna
man.
take it. I didn't want to
Landslide,
get
yeah.
into the politics too hard, but imagine, bro, if that bullet was like within 10 meters of Biden, he'd have been blown over, bro.
Oh, of course. Blown over.
He'd have been blown over, bro. So when that's your competition and you're taking bullets to the air and you're like,
Fight,
come on,
fight,
man.
fight.
Listen, you know what I mean? Last thing say, yo,
Yeah,
power to the
bro.
people. I'm dead.
My man's
He
immortalized in
won,
that
fam.
picture.
He
Nah.
won. I'm glad. I'm glad crypto caught a little pump from it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays properly. But yeah, right now it's mad positive sentiment. Like I don't want to say it's just because of this why crypto's been going,
Well,
but bro,
there has been some positive inflow in the ETF market. You know what I mean?
there's been
Positive inflow the past.
455 million today
Yeah,
on the ETF
yeah,
market, bro.
yeah. So it's
For
been
Bitcoin,
is for the past 9 days. It's literally been on a
positive
positive trend.
inflows.
You know what I mean? But question I have for you guys is: do we think this pump can sustain for the next couple months? That's the question. That's the question. I mean, obviously, that's the money making question right there. You know what I mean? If you think, because it could just be a bear trap. But to be honest, there is a catalyst. So I'm interested to see what happens ahead of the BTC conference. But yeah, only time will tell. But I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Do you think this pump will sustain?
I think um, Harris, you
Your
want to go
best
first?
guess. Your best guess.
It's hard to say, man. I'm not really like a technical analysis guy, so it's hard for me to say.
Bro.
But
Technical analysis is only half of the game, bro. It's not the end.
no, of
It's
course, of
not.
course, of
It's not a
course.
magic bullet, bro.
No, of course, I understand that. For me, though, I think we are looking more bullish, and I think the sentiment is starting to change. It's interesting because I was in the community last week before the shooting happened, and I was like, "Oh, what do you guys think of like the market and whatever?" And people were like, "Oh, kind of like not too positive about it." And this was when it was like 57 something around that them sides there, and then obviously he got shot and it pumped to like 60, 61, 62 or whatever it went up to. Now it's I think around 60ish. So I think the sentiment is changing now. Whether we can sustain for another couple of months, what are we now? July, so August, September. I think we will probably start um, pumping heading into the election, and then towards the end of the year, I think that's when we'll start to see it go parabolic. So yeah, I mean, looking at the market now, over the past week, a lot of things are like double-digit greens, especially the layer ones. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of positive sentiment there for now.
For me, yeah, I think just looking long term at what I can see coming up in the market. So obviously Germany has finished selling their Bitcoin, which is cool. Mount Gox have yet to pay back their creditors, so there's going to be that selling pressure. FTX is starting to liquidate some of their holdings, so there'll be that selling pressure. But then we have things on the flip side, like we have the Ethereum ETF being approved and starting trading on the 23rd, which is what, next week, Tuesday. That's going to be
Yep.
great buying pressure, and it's going to probably do a lot for the entire market if P start to flow properly into Ethereum. So I reckon there's enough catalyst. Well, actually, I think there's a lot of catalyst to push the price down. But when I'm also looking at like global liquidity and liquidity in China, who still have a massive part in the crypto market, even though they're kind of banned, whatever. I'm looking and I'm seeing there's like recent uptick in global liquidity, which higher liquidity, higher money going into Bitcoin. And I'm just like, technically right now, things should be able to stabilize, if not go up. But bro, you never know what's gonna happen. Like Trump could go to the Bitcoin rally and be like, Bitcoin's dead, and that's probably like 20% wiped off the market, just like that.
I think it'll be more than 20. That's crazy if he said that because he's supposed to be. I think the reason why it even reacted off him getting shot and surviving. Obviously, if he got shot and like died or whatever, then I think this would be a very different conversation. But I think the reason why it pumped is because he is the Bitcoin president right now. You know, he's the one
Indeed.
championing it. He's going to conferences. He's saying that I want you guys. I want Bitcoin in the US. Let's do something about it. And
Yep.
because of his business background as well, I think people actually believe in what he's saying, and it's not just hype talk. So I think that definitely helps his case as being that face of crypto as far as politics is concerned. Well, what do you think, Diddy?
Yeah, I mean, these Trump is definitely the Bitcoin, and like he's someone's become a Bitcoin mascot now, and I think, and I see him like proper playing into that role even more as the election gets closer to the date. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen with the whole crypto market. But the thing is, I think, like you guys said, there's still some selling pressure from the Mount Gold and then obviously FTX as well. And to be honest, there's still no rate cut, and the rate has not happened until elections closer. So I do feel like, as much as all these are positive catalysts, it's still not it's not big enough. And if we let's just go along this right with me. If we pump now, let's say you pump now, make a new all time high. Let's say we push to 100k, 110k BTC. If that happens before Q4, that means Q4 is going to be a dump. So I rather prefer Q4 to be a pump
Why do you say that though?
because well, obviously right now we made a parabolic move to 70k or 74k. We corrected heavily back down to 52 to 60, and then we've been ranging since. And naturally, if you pump again, it's going to be a cool down phase again. And usually, when we don't get, if you look at the historical returns of of Bitcoin on a monthly basis. Q3, if you have a bad Q3, you have a good Q4. If you have a good Q3, you have a bad Q4. And usually the bad Q4 really usually happen when Bitcoin market is finally cooling down. It's done amazing altcoin run. So that's what I feel like. Altcoin season is still on the precipice. It's not fully here yet, which is why I feel like it's more gonna be a Q4 massive pump rather than a Q3 massive pump, because there's still so many unknowns here. Like, not just the whole MacGo or FTX selling pressure. I'm not really too concerned about that because the market has done a great job absorbing what happened recently with the German sell-off. But I'm more worried about, where is the retail? There's no retail in the market. Don't tell me meme coin traders are the retail guys. No, it's not. You know what I mean? If you look at YouTube sentiment, the views on those YouTube channels is still not where it needs to be. People are still counting their coins at home in terms of, you know what I mean, living cost, and then, you know what I mean, like inflation still tapering up. So that's why I don't think like Q3 is geared up for a massive pump, personally for me. But this is just my speculation. So yeah.
But let me ask you a question, Deji. So
Please.
obviously, it sounds like you're obviously waiting for the interest rates to come down, and you think people will have more cash. But
Yes.
when the rate cuts come, it's going to be done in gradual process. So they'll probably only do like a 0.25 or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that's enough of a catalyst for it to pump?
It is, bro. It is. The reason why I say that is, even though like if they cut the rate today, the effect of it takes a while to trickle down. It takes months to trickle down. But what that will send us, but a rate cut sends a signal to two people. One, to investors that, yo, this is the best time for you to now. It's a risk on market, not a risk off. It's a risk on. Now you can put all your chips in the market. Now you can do crazy trades. I'm not talking about meme coin. I'm talking about take investment in more risky asset like altcoins. Well, nothing's more risky than meme coin, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I think that's more the signal that we're waiting for. And what will happen shortly after, as liquidity starts to trickle in more, retails will naturally follow, because now there'll be more jobs in the market, there'll be more liquidity in the market, and so what, people want to take more risk.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense. But speaking of governments, the German government sold their Bitcoin holdings for $2.8 billion. So what do you guys make of that? And they made about 700 million. Start with you, Rick.
Brother, I don't think any government in the history of time, I may be wrong, has made 700 million or the equivalent of 700 million for, well, how long has that Bitcoin? Since January, I believe, when they got it from.
But they didn't buy it though. Is this a
Wasn't it
confiscated Bitcoin, or did they buy it?
It was confiscated, my bro.
Yeah,
then that means it should be for profit, no?
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, no, well, I mean, I guess they take the profit. I don't know what happens to it. Maybe we can dig a bit deeper, but
so you're telling me
700 mil.
So 700 mil is the profit, and then the rest of the proceeds goes to who?
Nah. I don't even think proceeds go anywhere. So this was confiscated Bitcoin.
If it's confiscated, it should be 2.8 billion.
So it's now government assets. So why are they paying tax? Or why is it not 2.1 billion worth of?
No, they ain't paying tax, because this is the government's money.
Of course they're not paying tax, bro. Of course they're not paying tax, bro.
Maybe they lost the money in gas fees.
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. They should have waited for my man, then they should have waited for gasless transactions.
All right, bro. All right, so yeah. So this is money that they seized from movie2k.to, which is like a piracy website. So because they've seized it, imagine this is now money for the government. So when they seized it, the value of that was worth 2.1 billion. They had to go through court proceedings. They did that. Court proceedings are finished, and now they can sell the Bitcoin. Obviously, January 2.1 billion, now 2.8 billion. So I'd say this is probably the most a government has made. I might be wrong. From confiscating things from a fucking criminal. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is wild. And hold tight them for, I guess, whether it was going to be at a loss or a profit, they would have had to sell anyway, because they had to sell to realize whatever it is, the loss or the profit. But yeah, this is just going back in the German infrastructure, and I reckon that prime minister is you're probably gonna see him in a new Lambo. You're probably gonna see all of his like political party. They're gonna buy a new chateau somewhere.
Bonus
Bro,
for
I don't know.
everyone,
I don't
fam.
reckon
Bonus
there's no
for
tax on this.
everyone, fam. Bonus for everyone, bro.
I don't think they're gonna use this money and be like, yeah, we're gonna make our country better. Nah, maybe some aspect, but they're definitely gonna line their pockets because this is wild.
I still have a question, guys. Yeah, I know I didn't do. I don't have a PhD in math. My math skills is pretty good. How are these men selling 2.8 billion worth of BTC, and they only have 700 million to show
No,
for
no,
it?
no, no, no. So they had 3,000 and something Bitcoin.
Okay,
What I'm saying is, it was
which is
worth
worth.
2.1 billion in January.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the price has
And
gone up, so now it's worth 2.8 billion.
okay, so if you sell 2.8
But
worth of billions
but
of
it's still
BTC,
2.8 billion.
so it should
Dollars
be
worth of
2.8.
Bitcoin.
Exactly. So where's the 700k? So where's 700 million coming from? I don't get it.
So the 700 million was, so when they confiscated it, they dubbed the assets at 2.1 million because that was the price in January.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now, and they couldn't sell at that point because they were still going through the trial, they were still going through the court proceedings. The court proceedings are finished, and now, obviously, in
So
their
they
mind, if
have
they sold, they
700
wanted to
million
sell.
extra that they wouldn't have got.
Yeah.
But the
So
actual
even if,
profit is 2.8 billion if they
literally,
sold it all at once. Yeah.
literally, and so if
Okay, got it, got
even
it,
if
got
they were
it.
going to pay back movie 2K the money,
They're
like
not gonna.
at
They're not,
cost,
they're not giving no money back to movie 2K.
no,
Piss me off,
of
Is
though.
course
it
they're not.
hypothetically?
They're not. They're not.
Of course they're not. So hypothetically, if they were going to pay back movie 2K the amount of Bitcoin, the amount of dollar value that they took from them,
They
yeah,
would still have 700 million.
they would have had 700 million in unrealized or
Mm.
unrealized gains. But
Okay.
the
Oh,
government gets getting the whole 2.8 mil, bro.
there you go.
They're smiling
There
right
you
now.
go. There you go. There you go. Right. So my thoughts on this is the government, the German government really fucked up, and I'll tell you why they fucked up. Right. I think I read this a while ago. I think you guys can, if I just bring you guys back to what happened recently with the whole BTC, the Bitcoin ETF approval, and that was a huge moment in this space, right? And a lot of crypto enthusiasts, blockchain enthusiasts now want to speculate what's next for BTC in terms of the next real achievement. Because 100k is program, 200k is program. We don't care if BTC goes to 200k. Like, it's like everyone here thinks it can do that. You know what I mean? It might take 2 more cycles, it might take 1.5 more cycles, but we know Bitcoin is destined for the moon. Like 200k is just a conservative estimate, right? The next big thing that we thought would be a huge milestone for BTC is we now have the Bitcoin ETFs. We now have companies that are able to now put BTC on the balance sheet. So people now speculate: is it time for the Central Reserve, the central banks, to start putting BTC on their balance sheet to kind of offset the massive government deficit that they have? Because they keep printing money and then they accrued and then obviously loan out and then they all cover countries, so they accrued a massive debt. So what I thought the Germans would do actually is keep this Bitcoin and not sell it, because they just need to ask a few of the government employees that, listen, do a prediction, a statistical prediction. Where could BTC price be from compared from today to 5 years time? And I'm pretty sure that analysis will probably say, no, Bitcoin has still got a lot of room to grow, so maybe we'll hold off, or at least just sell some of it and put some of it on your balance sheet. So it's because yes, now you're holding 2.8 billion worth of cash, but by the time inflation's done with it, it's probably going to be diminished by then, and then diminish even more and more and more and more. And even though you add this money to this balance sheet, whatever, or you use it to fix road or improve education, whatever, it's still not the best asset to hold when the whole world is worried about inflation. It's not just inflation in the US; it's inflation everywhere in the world. So, yeah, in my opinion, I think they fucked up and they sold too much. And if I was in charge of that government, I wouldn't sell any at all. I would just huddle. I'll be like US, trying to just make it a safe haven for crypto investors. But Germans will be Germans, so yeah, I'm not surprised they do such a dumb shit. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think what was that government? Is it Ecuador? Oh, Salvador, that's the one.
Salvador,
Yeah.
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 They would never do this. They would never do this. Imagine
Nah, bro.
They were buying during the bear
Keep that shit
market as
forever.
well.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, it's
They've been
Scotland,
buying
Scotland.
they've been buying while Germany's been dumping.
So now, so check
Probably.
this now, right? Just now, check this, guys. If ever comes a time where, like, let's say the US starts putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, guess who's gonna follow suit? The entire rest of the Europe are gonna follow suit. So it's like you have This 3,000 BTC is sitting there, but you sold it off for 2.8 billion. Where's the cash to show for it now? Oh, we've had to use it for cash for this, and that. Easy money. When you have easy money goes away like that. But when you have hard money,
don't you think they can find more? They'll be like we just made
Who?
a lick. Let's look for more criminals.
What?
Inverted
Okay.
commas, and the regular person, they're gonna be like going hard on people. Say, boom, we're confiscating this. We'll charge you for this, taxes for
Cool.
this.
Okay, cool, bro. It's fine. They can do that, and then if they catching them on criminals, if you any criminal, let themselves be caught. That's fine. But for me, the German government have not demonstrated any kind of high level intellect about financial literacy. So
No, I agree.
If they find this BTC again, they're gonna just sell it off again, bro. Like they have no fucking brains. They have no brains, man. So yeah, so don't matter. They can keep finding it. Just gonna keep making the wrong music with it. So that's the problem with them. That's the real problem. Like when they were selling off, I was like, wait, sure they're not gonna sell their entire portfolio. They sold one, they sold another one, and they sold the rest. I was like, wow. I thought they would at least release some, bro. Even Tesla, when Tesla sold their BTC to them for a profit, what did they do? They left a little moon bag, it's a little nice little 700 BTC on the balance sheet because it's the right thing to do to offset the risk of inflation. But hey,
No, it's true. It's true.
old tight the German government though. Old tight the German government. Yeah. Smart dunnies.
From one government selling Bitcoin to another one making money in crypto by using the anonymity in crypto. North Korean hackers infiltrate crypto job boards in a quiet war that rakes in $600 million. So basically, the story here is that due to crypto being anonymous or pseudonymous, North Korean hackers are basically creating a bunch of fake profiles and applying for crypto jobs and getting these jobs and basically making a lot of money. What do you guys make of that?
Let me throw some color on that. There's people out there doing crypto jobs from North Korea that are making 60,000 US dollars a month, bro. And here's the thing: the government.
What type of job is that?
A month.
Or is that multiple jobs?
No, blockchain architect.
Maybe it's more than one.
Russ.
I'm not 100%.
Okay.
But there's specific people from North Korea, single individuals making 600K from doing this, and the government is like, yeah, we'll take 30% and you can keep the rest, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I feel like I'm doing all right, but this is a great fucking idea, fam. I might have to start applying for some multiple blockchain. I don't know, man. This is actually a lot of money. Like some of these roles, imagine if it's 60K a month from one role, bro. This role is then paying something like what, 800K for the year.
Wait, so Rick,
mental.
are they actually delivering the work? Obviously, I deliver the work.
Now that's the question. Are they actually delivering the work? To be honest,
because if they're delivering the work, they're gonna cut you off eventually.
The fact that they've netted 600 million since they've been doing this means that there's definitely some quality, like there's quality being delivered. And I hear it. Maybe
I was gonna say they wouldn't have
been
able to make much if they weren't delivering anything.
It wouldn't have made the news, bro.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I guess they're delivering some shit, and I'm just baffed that this is actually doing so well. And maybe this is why there's less. I don't know. I feel like, obviously, as someone that's been in software development for a while, I feel like the market right now, especially for blockchain, any relation to blockchain roles, feels a bit soft. Maybe this is why.
Same in community management. Like in the last bull run, it was like everyone was just hitting me up. I didn't have to do anything. It's still happening now, but not to the same velocity.
Well, so there's two things. So one, that could be one of the reason why, because I can agree with you, Rick, as well. Like in the previous two bull run, there's been a massive amount of like Web3 jobs, but in this run there hasn't been as much. And the ones I've seen is like, migrate to Abu Dhabi. Fuck that, bro. Like, you know what I mean? There's not much remote Web3 roles, but it could be the result of was it South Korea or North Korea? You said
North Korea.
Yeah. It could be North Korea's the hacking doing this, so it could be that, and the whole community management stuff that might have diminished due to the fact that we now rely on bots heavily on Telegram. Like we use bots for wallets now, we use bots for mods. So I'm not surprised that there's been a less uptick. And also, to be honest, let's be real. Like in terms of progress of the bull market, we're like at 33% right now. So maybe you see more of those influx at like 50% level or 50 plus, because then people raise more
No.
and they're willing to, you know what I mean,
I
shell out
kind of
more
agree,
dough.
but maybe it's the nature of the bull market, because in the last bull market, I would say around a similar stage, there was more, but the nature of it was there was a lot more retail involved. Right now, it's obviously a lot more institutions,
Exactly.
as we've
Exactly.
kind of been saying. So maybe it's due to the nature of it, because if these projects and products aren't getting the uptake because people aren't using them, they're not going to pay the money for the staff and the infrastructure, etc. Because it's not,
Yeah.
you can't really justify it.
Nah,
So
I hear what you're
maybe it's a
saying,
thing like that.
but I feel like there should be more community manager roles, because
There should be.
there's been so many random meme coins that have come out of fucking nowhere with like hundreds of thousands of people in these groups, and it's just like, then who's managing it, bro?
Yeah. There are those roles. I'm not saying there aren't any, but I'm just saying, like, it was effortless in the last one where
But
people were
that's
just
but that's what
spamming
I'm
you
saying.
on LinkedIn like this thing like multiple times a day. But
But that's
this time
I
around,
hear you.
there's a few, but it's not the same thing. You know?
And what I'm saying is there should be more, if not this, if not the same as last time, there should be way more, because there's those projects that were there from
Yeah, I
last
get
time,
it.
but then there's also
Yeah,
all of these new projects that are coming out the woodworks and are doing really well.
no, it's
So
true.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like we
Wait,
cracked it. I feel like maybe the blockchain market has been souped up by North Korea.
I don't think so, honestly, guys. I think honestly, like as much as they souped it up, like I mean, North Korea's population is not that crazy, and even if it is, not everybody's a freaking blockchain architect, and even if it is, even
Maybe
if
they're
they
using
are,
Bro,
AI, man.
I
if
don't I
they,
don't think bro, I don't think you realize the scale of what they're doing. Like they're faking CVs, and
yeah,
then the person that does the interview is the actual person that knows shit, but the person that does the job is
yeah.
like not them, bro. So imagine
Okay, so
they're mass producing their
so
talent.
basically,
They're basically saying, yeah, they're turning one person into like 100.
okay, cool. I mean, I hear that, but at the same time, I know that there's some Web3 that probably require more than one developer, and then they probably want more involvement other than just remote working, maybe like in person or maybe
But
from a
fam,
different region. Yeah, I mean, you can
fam,
butt it. I know, but I refuse to believe that North Korea is the reason why the Web3 job market is dry. It just, I
I
don't
hear
think so.
you.
I don't think so.
But but
It's
all right, but
it's
think
part
about
of
it
the
this way.
reason. It's part of the reason.
I hear you.
It's half the reason, but it's not the entire reason. That's just my
I hear you,
opinion.
but think about it this way, bro. We run a software development agency. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
imagine we heard about this guy. He's completely anonymous,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh, just trust me, I do the work good." Every work we give him, he blows out the park every single time, bro. We don't
Yeah,
give a fuck if we can see his face.
of
We're gonna
course
keep
we don't
giving
give
this
a
guy
fuck.
work, fam.
Of course, 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 of course. So, like, I
Yeah,
agree with you. Like, of course, like the end goal is to deliver work. You know, what I mean, if you can't deliver work, you're not used to us. So, and I get it, fam. But I expect the blockchain market to kind of, in terms of the jobs market, to uptake as the bull market progresses. Because listen, if you look at the market cap we are right now is what we are at the end of the tail end of the last bull run. So it's like we're in a great place. Like we're in a great freaking place. Like people complain like, oh, BBC CD3K. It could be much worse, but it's not. So this is a bullish news. So yeah, just my thoughts.
Definitely. So that's the end of the podcast. We will see you next week for the next one. Until then, we'll see you then. Peace.